When you walk into a large institution, think a hospital or a university, the walls are doing so much more than just holding up the ceiling. They're telling you where to go. They're setting a mood. They're communicating a mission. Today, we're going to dig into how we can take these massive surfaces and turn them from just, structures into genuinely hardworking assets.
And that brings up a really important question for anyone managing these spaces. Are your walls actually pulling their weight? Are they an active part of your strategy, or are they just kind of there? It seems simple, but the answer tells you a whole lot about how your space is really performing.
For decades, dressing up these big walls always felt like a frustrating compromise. You know the old way, right? Vinyl or wallpaper that always ends up with peeling seams, and you're left with that awful sticky residue after a really disruptive installation. But the new way we're talking about, it's a completely different game. We're talking seamless, integrated graphics installed super fast with zero gunk left behind, and, this is huge, ready to just be painted over when it's time for a change.
Let's just be honest for a second. The traditional ways of doing things, they just weren't built for the non-stop pace of a modern institution. Hand-painted murals, they take forever and are impossible to replicate perfectly. Vinyl wraps, they start to bubble and peel the second they're in a busy hallway. And panel systems, oh man, that's more materials, more shipping, more things that can break. These are the kinds of operational headaches that keep facilities managers up at night.
So the solution isn't just a slightly better version of the old stuff. Nope, it's a fundamentally different approach altogether. It's a technology that just sidesteps all those old problems by, you guessed it, printing directly onto the wall itself. Let's take a look at how this core technology actually works.
Direct-to-wall printing is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. A very specialized printer applies this incredibly durable, high-def artwork right onto almost any surface you can think of. But the key phrase here, the one you really need to remember, is without adhesives, films, or panels. This is a big deal because it means the graphic literally becomes part of the wall's architecture. And that eliminates the #1 reason traditional coverings fail, the adhesive layer just giving up.
And you might think something this advanced would be a complicated process, but it's actually incredibly streamlined. It all starts with a quick site survey and some basic wall prep. Then, the compact printer is brought right on site, and the printing begins. A protective finish goes on top, and the whole thing is done remarkably fast. I mean, this is a process designed to work around your schedule, not shut your operations down.
So that super efficient process really delivers on 3 core advantages that tackle the biggest pain points in institutional settings head-on. And those are speed, durability, and of course, versatility.
First up, speed. A typical, standard-sized wall can be completely finished in under 5 hours. Just think about that for a second. An entire, massive, photorealistic graphic installed in less than a single work shift. For a busy hospital ward or a school corridor, that kind of minimal downtime isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a massive operational win. But it goes way beyond just speed. The technical benefits here are just profound. Because it's printed as one giant, continuous image, it's totally seam-free, no matter how big it is. So no peeling, ever. The adhesive-free part means no sticky mess and no edges lifting up. It works on almost any surface. It's tough enough for hospital-grade cleaning. And get this, when you're ready for a change, you just prime and paint right over it. It's really that simple.
Okay, so the technology sounds great on paper, right? But its real value, its true test, is out in the real world. So let's look at how it actually performs in some of the most demanding environments out there.
In a healthcare setting, hygiene is absolutely everything. So the seamless nature of these graphics is a massive advantage because there are zero cracks or crevices for dirt and germs to hide in. This means you can have these beautiful, calming images in patient rooms or crystal clear wayfinding down the halls, all while being able to stand up to the toughest hospital cleaning protocols.
Then you jump over to education. This is where you can turn those long, sterile corridors into vibrant spaces that just scream school spirit. Imagine a huge mascot wall in the gym, or an oversized, detailed periodic table in the science wing. And because it's so tough, it can easily handle the daily wear and tear of 1,000 students running through the halls. And that durability, it leads us straight to a really critical point for any administrator, the total cost of ownership. We're moving beyond the initial price tag here and looking at the long-term life cycle cost. This is where you stop thinking about a one-time purchase and start thinking about a smart, strategic investment.
Let's just put them head-to-head for a second. With vinyl, you're constantly budgeting for fixing seams and corners, and you know a costly, messy, wasteful removal process is coming eventually.
With direct-to-wall printing, all those common points of failure are just gone. They're engineered right out of the system. The refresh process is now just part of your normal painting cycle. What that means is a huge reduction in waste, in maintenance calls, and in your long-term operational budget.
See, choosing how you brand your walls isn't just about how things look today. It's about making your space adaptable and ready for the future. It's about planning for what's coming next, whether that's a new department, a new brand identity, or just a new school year.
And a huge piece of future-proofing is sustainability. The environmental impact here is just dramatically lower, mainly because you're literally eliminating entire categories of waste. You're not sending rolls of PVC film and adhesive backing to the landfill. You're cutting way down on shipping emissions by not moving heavy panels around. The whole cycle becomes incredibly efficient. And that's not just an environmental win. It's the sign of a smart, modern operation.
When you boil it all down, it really comes back to this one powerful idea. This is an approach that finally lets you have both creative freedom and operational discipline. You get the incredible, high-impact visuals you've always wanted, but without all the maintenance nightmares, the downtime, and the waste you've been forced to accept until now. So, we're going to end right where we started, with a question for you to think about. As you plan your spaces for the years to come, are they truly built for the future? Are they designed from the ground up to be efficient, to be sustainable, and to be inspiring for their entire life cycle? Because that, right there, is the new standard.